Greetings from Florence, South Carolina, in the Florence Civic Center. It is your site for the Class 2A Boys Lower State Basketball Championships as teams with identical records, 21-6, the North Charleston Cougars and the Marion Swamp Foxes, playing for the right to advance to the state finals in Columbia. Hello, everybody. I am Birch Antley, joined by Alan Smothers here on the SCHSL Network. The North Charleston Cougars, 21-6, champions of Region 7, under first-year head coach Blake Hall, set to square off with the Swamp Foxes of Marion, Region 8 champs, under the direction of second-year head coach John Washington.
Well, these two teams, Birch, obviously have worked as hard as any teams to get to the state semifinals as any two in any classification this year, with first-year head coach and a second-year head coach. Marion is making it this far for the first time in school history. I find that hard to believe. As long as I've lived in the PD and the Grand Strand of South Carolina, this is the best Marion Swamp Fox team in the history of the school, and I can tell you one reason why. His name is Marquis McKelvey. He averages a double-double, 18 points, 13 rebounds, and I can tell you from having seen him play already once or twice this year, there's not a Division I school in America that does not want him. And on the other side, Anthony Williams, 6'6", same size, maybe not quite the athleticism as McKelvey, but those two guys will play above the rim.
All right, let's take a look at the starting lineups first. For the Cougars of North Charleston, Bernard Samuel and James Brown are the guards. Trey Rayner, Jamal Baldwin, and Anthony Williams are your forwards. On the other side of the court, the Marion Swamp Foxes. The two guards, DJ Kelly and Chris Washington. There's Marquis McKelvey, the 6'6" junior forward that Alan was talking about. Michael Outlaw, the other forward in the center. Devontae Emanuel, the 6'5" senior. And there you have it. The starters for North Charleston and Marion. The winner will advance to Columbia to take on either Newberry or Lee Central out of the upper state. And Alan, you said Marion, they have never won a lower state championship. They have never played in a state championship. North Charleston, they have 4 state championships in school history, but those trophies are pretty dusty.
Yeah.
They've got one in 1948, 1961, and 62, and the Class 3A champs back in 1972. So they'd like to have a trophy a little bit more modern. So they are looking to make their way to the state championship for the first time in a long time. Marion trying to advance for the first time in school history.
Well, they knocked By SCHSL team in 4A out of the playoffs in the late 1980s, and we turned around and returned the favor the very next year. But Blake Hall's team has been to 5 state title game appearances, but as you said, this is the first time in a while.
And in the center circle to tip, we've got Jamal Baldwin for North Charleston. North Charleston in the blue uniforms, the yellow trim, yellow numerals and letters. And tipping for Marion is Devontae Emanuel. Marion in the whites. Tip controlled by North Charleston, and a quick score by the Cougars and James Brown. I feel good.
I had to throw that in.
So James Brown picks up the first points of this ball game. Now Marion launches a 3. And that one rattles off the left rim, but rebound controlled by Marion and DJ Kelly. Shot too short, but the Swamp Foxes collect the carom. Chris Washington will back away. Toss it left side over to Kelly. Back to Washington now at the top. There's a shot by Marquis McKelvey. Rattles in and out. And North Charleston comes down with a rebound. Bernard Samuel.
There is one disappointing note for Marion, Birch, as Kevin Rowell, another 6'6" junior that is the bookend to Marquis McKelvey, is injured, and his season is through, but he is on the bench in street clothes, or in a warm-up suit anyway.
Shot too short for North Charleston, and out of bounds to Marion, the Swamp Foxes.
You can see Kevin Rowell, he's got his legs straight out. He has a knee injury. It's not considered serious. He will be back next year for Marion, but his season is done.
Marion working with DJ Kelly. Now over to Michael Outlaw, who skips it over to Chris Washington. There's a shot left wing. Rebound collected by North Charleston, and quickly on the run is James Brown. Brown pushing ahead to Anthony Williams. He loses the handle out of bounds over to the Swamp Foxes. Great crowd on hand again here for the 4th game of 6 here in the lower state championships from the Florence Civic Center. Three-pointer is too strong off the right rim. And North Charleston again with a rebound. James Brown cuts in. Was looking for a streaking Jamal Baldwin. And a turnover to Marion.
Yeah, the 2 All-State players in this game have almost identical body types. Anthony Williams and Marquis McKelvey, both 6'6", probably in the 170, 175 range, well built. But McKelvey, I'm telling you, he is a high flyer. Good defense by North Charleston.
And North Charleston has really owned the defensive glass. Marion struggling on the offensive boards right now. There's a nice shot there by the All-State player Anthony Williams, who averages 16 points a game. The big 6'6" forward pouring in the points for North Charleston. They lead 4-0. And here's a big steal and quick lay-in for North Charleston and Bernard Samuel, who averages 16 points a game. The 6'4" senior, and it's a 6-point North Charleston cushion right now.
Yeah, the Cougars are telling the Swamp Foxes, if you think you are going to play up and down 94 feet and 15 feet above the floor, we'll play with you. And so far, the fast break points are all North Charleston to this point. Marion, though, interesting story about them this year, Birch. I don't know if you know, they weren't really picked to win this region this year. Darnell Coleman and the Mullins Auctioneers made it to the state championship game last year and had virtually everybody coming back. And even Mark Gerald said that if we don't win the state 2A title this year, it'll be a disappointment. Not only did they not win the state 2A title, they didn't even win the Region 8 title. This Marion team beat them both appearances this year.
Yeah, Marion knocking off the Mullins Auctioneers in overtime to make it to this lower state championship. North Charleston, the 4-point lead right now. And again, James Brown quickly up the court, skies in, cannot get the roll, but the rebound is handled by Anthony Williams. And Williams is fouled. Shot doesn't drop, but Williams will go to the line. Marion Swamp Foxes, another one of the schools representing the PD. North Charleston, our 3rd school representing the home of hospitality in the holy city of Charleston, as we saw Bishop England, the girls, advancing to the state championship in Class 2A from Daniel Island, which is just across the river from Charleston. It's part of Charleston. Sure. And then we saw the Burke Bulldogs, which is in Charleston proper, losing in the Class A boys lower state final to Johnsonville.
Just watching the first few minutes of this one, Birch, us ground-bound people are amazed at the athleticism of all these young men out here right now. Look at the height that these guys get up.
Yeah, good follow by Marquis McKelvey. All-state player, averaging 18 points and 13 rebounds a game. He's just a junior, 6'6". One of the top players in 2A basketball here in South Carolina. And his shot too short off the front iron.
I played with a few guys that could dunk, play above the rim, if you will, but most of the guys I played with, you might have been able to slide a piece of notebook paper under their feet when they jump. These guys, I mean, there's the above the square is where they're playing, not just above the rim.
James Brown trapped in the corner, but he gets it out to Anthony Williams, and Williams quickly up ahead. And Jamal Baldwin will draw the foul as he was taking it strong to the basket. Cougars leading the Swamp Foxes 7-3.
There's not a player on the floor right now, if I look and just estimate, there's not a player on the floor right now that can't get above the rim and slam it down if they get the opportunity.
First shot is good for Jamal Baldwin, the 6'4" senior forward for Blake Hall's North Charleston Cougars. Again, Blake Hall, an outstanding job, first-year head coach for North Charleston. He has his team in the lower state championship with a shot at a trip to Columbia for the state finals.
He looks like a coach, and sorry to say, I don't know his background. I'd like to know where he coached previously, but obviously he's done a pretty darn good job since he got to North Charleston.
And also John Washington, only in his second year leading the Swamp Foxes. He's done an outstanding job bringing Marion here. There's a nice backdoor cut for Bernard Samuel. Scores for the second time in this ball game. And now Marion on the attack. Michael Outlaw. The rebound, fought for, tie up on the floor between Trey Rayner and Devontae Emmanuel. Possession will remain with Marion.
It's not been a knockout blow, Birch, but suffice it to say North Charleston has thrown the first punch in this game, and we'll see how Marion, if they respond, as most all of the teams that got down early have done today.
That's Keontae Foxworth, who just checked in, driving to the hoop. His shot will not fall, but Marquis McKelvey just fighting hard on the glass there, and he'll draw the foul.
Well, that's the first time that both Anthony Williams and Marquis McKelvey have fought nose-to-nose for the basketball, because North Charleston is in that matchup zone right now. They're not playing man-to-man. I'd like to see Williams and McKelvey go head up.
Here's Foxworth pushing ahead left side to Washington, back to Foxworth. Now they'll swing it right side. Now Foxworth will drive in, has his shot knocked away by
I don't
Baldwin.
know about that.
They're going to call a close foul there. The officials right on it, so that will send Keontae Foxworth, who just checked in moments ago, 6 feet junior, and he's at the line for two.
That was a touch foul
shot
at best.
Is out. 3 minutes, 40 seconds remaining. And the officials will have a quick conversation.
Confer to see exactly who the foul was called on. The North Charleston coaches had questioned which player that it was called on, and it was called on Anthony Williams. Williams is saying no, but I think the officials got that right.
So Foxworth for his second. Missed on the first, but connects here. And Marion trails by 6.
Then again, you know what? It might have been Baldwin who did get, because it was 32 and 42, or 22 and 42. Might have been Baldwin.
Marion going for the steal, but North Charleston able to hang on, and a nice little scoop shot there by Jamal Baldwin in the paint. Now Foxworth is going to be called for palming. A little under-over action there for Keontae Foxworth.
And the reason Coach Hall and the staff of the North Charleston Cougars are upset is their All-State player has 2 fouls now in the first quarter.
Marion's DJ Kelly almost comes away with a nice steal. But he can't hang on as it saunters out of bounds. And North Charleston and James Brown on the attack again. Three-pointer from the left wing is good for Bernard Samuel.
Marion hasn't answered yet, Birch.
Marion trailing here to North Charleston, 15-4. There's a nice-looking shot there by Jakari Godbolt, the 6'5 junior who just checked in moments ago off the bench, providing some much-needed points here for the Marion Swamp Foxes.
You're right about that. That was a desperate bucket that they needed.
James Brown beats the press. Ball is kicked out of bounds. North Charleston maintains possession.
Last touch by Chris Washington. Averages 6 points, 2.5 boards, 2.5 assists. Pretty good defense right
Bernard
there.
Samuel wide open left wing again. Does not connect on this one, and the rebound is taken away by Marion. Quickly up ahead, down the court goes Chris Washington, and he gets the lay-in. And it's 15-8 now. Just over 2 minutes to play here in the first period. 2A Boys Lower State Championship. The winner will face either the Newberry Bulldogs or the Lee Central Stallions. There's a big steal by McKelvey, and McKelvey has his pocket pick, but gets it right back. and drops in the bucket. Marquis McKelvey never gave up on that play.
No, and there's your answer. That's the counter punch by Marion. It's provided by DJ Kelly and Marquis McKelvey. DJ Kelly with the steal. He's one of the top scorers on this team. The second option for Marion, the 5'5 junior, and Marquis McKelvey, a 6'6 junior. This team has lots of returning players for next year. The seniors, Washington and Emmanuel, but they are not the top scorers. The underclassmen are. You've got Marquis McKelvey at 18 points, DJ Kelly at 11 points, and Michael Outlaw at 7 points a ball game. And the counter punch, when they were down 15-5, they come right back with 2 quick buckets of steal and a layup.
Well, Alan, we have talked about the number of PD teams representing the lower state here in Florence at these championships, but I'm telling you, that vinegar pepper barbecue sauce spreading its way around the state of South Carolina, because Bishopville's Lee Central Stallions, they're considered part of the PD, and they're representing the PD up in the upper state today, up at the Bilo Center.
And one of our former Socastee players, Laverne Knox.
There's a steal on the inbounds for Marion. Driving to the basket is Kelly. He cannot get his shot to fall, but Marion coming up with a big turnover there on the inbounds.
Yeah,
they'll maintain possession.
Lee Central Stallions, you mentioned them playing in the Upstate Championship today. They've won state championships under Laverne Knox before, so they are not unaccustomed to being in that setting. Just they're one of those teams that switch. One year they're, or a couple of years they're upper state, next couple of years they're lower state.
There's a good basket there by Chris Washington. His first points of the game, and boy, Marion has really come alive here. Trailing now by 3 to North Charleston, and really got the spark that they were looking for from Marquis McKelvey.
Because they switched out of that zone defense into a full court pressure. I abhor zone defense.
McKelvey brings it down, and Foxworth knifing in, but he can't find the bottom of the basket. Marion keeps it alive with Kelly to the rim. Follow through is good by Godbolt.
9 straight by the Foxes.
4th point of the game for Jakari Godbolt, 6'5 junior. Oh, nice crossover by Anthony Williams, the big man showing the ball skills.
With the left hand.
Anthony Williams showing that he can put the ball on the floor. Now, usually with those big guys, as coaches, they allow one, if they're generous, 2 dribbles. Otherwise, you give it up to the more experienced ball handler, but Anthony Williams knows what he's doing.
Yeah, Williams is more of a perimeter player than he is a post player. In these games, obviously, he's got to be the guy that's on the glass more than most, but he can handle it in the open floor, just like Marquis McKelvey can. McKelvey will be a 3 in college.
And there's McKelvey right there, just can't find the bottom of the net. That one in and out on Marquis McKelvey. Had a good look at the basket from short range. James Brown charges in, gets it to drop, but wave it off. He's going to be whistled for the charge. And North Charleston holding on to a 3-point lead here, but boy, has Marion really come alive after struggling in the opening minutes.
We talked about the Lee Central team being upstate some years, lower state other years. That's kind of why we talked about Lexington last night in the 4A, and I said that we had never played Lexington in the playoffs, and I was giving some thought to that when I was at Socastee, as I realized that almost every year that we were lower state, or every year that we were in the coaching game, Lexington was an upper state team, and we only made 1 state title in the time that we were at Socastee, so we didn't have a chance to meet Lexington in the playoffs. But we did meet
Brown pushing it ahead and loses it out of bounds.
As I said earlier, we did meet this North Charleston team. They beat us one year, we beat them the next. That was one of the years that they did play for a state title. And the year that we beat them, we played for the state title.
North Charleston loses the handle. Here's DJ Kelly flying in. He gets it to drop off the square as time expires, and Marion cuts that lead that North Charleston has 2-1. As the first period ends, we're heading to the second when we return to Florence here on the SCHSL Network.
Super double.
Welcome back to Florence. Birch, Antley, Allen, Smothers with you here on the SCHSL network. North Charleston leading by 1, 17-16 with possession. North Charleston in the blue with a yellow trim. Marion in the white. Bernard Samuel. This shot does not fall. Rebound taken down by Foxworth for Marion. Swamp Foxes push ahead. And Foxworth is going to draw the foul on Bernard Samuel, who was just kind of backtracking a little bit there and got his hips caught in with Foxworth.
Yeah,
the official right there to blow the whistle.
He complained about that, but you can't impede the progress of the ball handler by backing into it.
Chris Washington over right wing to Kelly, drifting left, looking for McKelvey inside. His shot off the glass is not there. Marquis McKelvey, very rangy player. 6'6", long wingspan.
Jakari Godbolt was called for that foul. I didn't see it.
There's a takeaway by Kelly. And he is going to be fouled in the lane. And he'll go to the line. DJ Kelly, 5'5", junior, averages 7 assists and 4 steals. And he was fouled by James Brown.
James Brown, I was lucky right there, too, because it was in the same neighborhood as Anthony Williams. If Williams gets that foul call on him, that's third. He's done for the first half, at least.
Kelly's first shot rattles down. Just underway here in the second period. Checking in now off the bench for North Charleston, Josh Gant, 5'9", junior. As he takes the place of James Brown. Brown will have a seat on the bench next to Blake Hall. Second shot is good for DJ Kelly. He made them both.
Is that the Foxes' first lead?
Indeed it is, 18-17, and they'll steal the inbounds on North Charleston. Boy, what a difference Blake Hall made, the head coach for North Charleston, when he decided to go to that full court press.
No question. That was the best move that John Washington made.
John Washington, I'm sorry, for Marion.
Yeah, the best move they've made today.
Foxworth has it. Will kick it out. DJ Kelly charging in, and he gets it. The drop off the top of the tape in the center circle, or center square. Driving hard to the basket is Trey Rayner. He picks up his first points. Kelly quickly back for Marion. McKelvey fighting for the rebound, but it's snatched down by Jamal Baldwin for North Charleston. Swamp Foxes leading by 1, 20-19. Oh, another behind the back. Oh, what a pass. Behind the back by Anthony Williams. Caught his teammate off guard.
Great
Josh
idea.
Gant couldn't handle it.
Great idea, just bad execution. And this is going to be like a tennis match now, Birch. We're going to be craning our necks back and forth the way these two teams want to play up-tempo basketball.
Anthony Williams spikes it out of bounds. Williams also 6'6", averages 16 points a game for North Charleston. All-state selection by the South Carolina Coaches Association. Right wing three-pointer is good for DJ Kelly.
He's come alive.
And Marion extends the lead to 4.
We haven't seen vintage Marquis McKelvey just yet. I don't even think we've seen average Marquis McKelvey yet.
Cougars break the press, and there's the flush by Jamal Baldwin, the 6'4" senior, cramming it through. That's always the danger with the full court press, Allen. If you have a team that can beat it, typically you're going to have a open man underneath your basket for a high percentage shot or a dunk. That's exactly what happened.
I love seeing these teams try to get to the glass in a hurry.
Williams knifing in.
Oh, nice job.
Excellent job by Williams. sitting down, still playing the game. Anthony Williams is special.
Yeah, a little reckless, but he got the job done. Again, he's got 2 fouls here in the first half. Coach Hall does not want him to pick up that third. And they're going to say it was a jump ball. Marion gets possession. But Williams is really playing well. I'm not saying this because I've never seen Anthony Williams play before. Maybe he's still below his average game as well, but I'd like to see Marquis McKelvey step up for them, although DJ Kelly has stepped up very well here in the first half.
Little alley-oop to McKelvey. Foxworth fighting for the loose ball, and it's out of bounds to Marion. Holding on to a 2-point lead. North Charleston led the bulk of this ball game, but then Marion, with that full court press on defense, forcing some North Charleston turnovers and then some timely shots, and they took the lead for the first time just a couple of minutes ago.
McKelvey's just a little out of sync right now, but DJ Kelly has done a nice job offsetting.
Ahead to Williams. Williams and North Charleston with numbers, and another flush by Jamal Baldwin, his second of the game. Well, a good pass from Williams. Foxworth can't find it, picks up his own rebound, put back not there. Williams comes down with it for the Cougars, and quickly ahead to Rayner. And Rayner is going to be fouled by Chris Washington.
Well, I don't think the dunk contest is until later tonight at the NBA All-Star Weekend, but Mr. Baldwin sure making his presence known. He'd like to bid for that. Two-handed jams. It almost ripped. I saw some backboards without rims in the back. They may have to bring one in.
North Charleston, a little scoop shot here by Samuel. Gets his own rebound. The putback is good. Bernard Samuel. And North Charleston reclaims the lead. It's 25-23 with 4:44 left. Oh, a good pass from Kelly, but Devontae Emmanuel unable to follow through. And North Charleston comes up with it on offense. And here's Baldwin again. He'll feed to Williams underneath the basket. Nice shot, Anthony Williams.
There's another punch. Birch. North Charleston punched. Marion answered. Now North Charleston is punched again. Up by 4.
Right wing. There's a shot from three-point land by Washington. Too strong off the left iron. And possession will remain with Marion as Marquis McKelvey was fouled, and he'll go to the line. So Marquis McKelvey with 3 shots here. First one misses. It was a 1-and-1.
Yep.
And it is North Charleston basketball.
Marquis McKelvey is still searching for his game right now.
Up ahead for North Charleston, Josh Gant. Gant fires over to Rayner on the far sideline. Now driving in is Samuel. Cannot get the roll, but the putback is there for Bernard Samuel. And Samuel collecting some points here in this first half. Loose ball picked up by North Charleston, and on the run is Josh Gant. Gant runs into traffic and is able to clear it out to Anthony Williams. Williams drives it in. Oh my! Posterize Anthony Williams.
John Washington needs a timeout. His team is dazed after this latest punch. His team is dazed.
Boy, did Anthony Williams just slam it down with the left hand right on a Marion defender. And now we do have a timeout on the court. And boy, oh boy, what can you say about Anthony Williams?
Williams is starting. He's getting a lot of help, though. That's a problem right now. Marion, DJ Kelly is the only offensive option they have right now. Marquis McKelvey can't get his feet set under him. Chris Washington, who started out well, but has gotten tight in the last few minutes. But you've got North Charleston. All of their guys are playing well. Jamal Baldwin, James Brown, Anthony Williams, Bernard Samuel. They're all contributing right now. Marion's not getting help for DJ Kelly. And DJ Kelly's the smallest guy on the floor at 5'5". He can't do it all.
Yeah, North Charleston seeing the court very, very well right now. I mean, those guards are finding Anthony Williams and also Jamal Baldwin in open spaces in the passing lanes as Baldwin and Williams come cutting in.
Well, the thing is, what Marion needs is help from Devontae Emmanuel, Chris Washington, Michael Outlaw. Marquis McKelvey is trying to take on the post duties himself inside, but he's got lots of big guys around him. Anthony Williams is 6'6". Bernard Samuel is 6'4". Jamal Baldwin 6'1", but you've seen him slam down too like he was 7 feet tall. Marion's got to get more help.
Here comes Samuel. Samuel dishes off to Josh Gant. Pass picked off by Chris Washington, and Washington takes it himself.
There you go.
Chris Washington with a little finger roll, but North Charleston quickly on offense. Marion is going to have to get back on defense a lot quicker as they find Baldwin open. And a charge is going to be called on North Charleston.
Well, Chris Washington has gotten the wake-up call. Who was the first guy back after he made the bucket? He was the guy who cut off the drive to the basket. The other Swamp Foxes have got to get back in a hurry or at least find their man. Now, they didn't give up the easy bucket there, but Chris Washington has answered the call during that timeout.
DJ Kelly pushes left side to Washington. Now Kelly again to Washington. Kelly comes down with a loose ball. Now in the hands of Washington, left side to Foxworth. And Marion struggling to get that ball in the post to McKelvey. North Charleston doing a great job right now of closing down those passing lanes. Kelly dribble drive, cannot find the roll. And it's going the other way to North Charleston.
Right now, Birch, it's not a diamond and one defense, but Marquis McKelvey is trying to set up in the low post, and that 1-3-1 has Jamal Baldwin focusing exclusively on Marquis McKelvey by setting up behind him, and then you have Anthony Williams and James Brown in front of him. He's not going to catch the ball in that mid-post area.
High feed into Williams, taken away by Marion. Foxworth is there for the putback. Yes.
Jakari Godbolt, he's the guy that has come in and gives some help as well.
Ahead to Williams. Williams and North Charleston with numbers. Here's Baldwin. They cannot find it. Excellent job there of just disrupting the shot by Devontae Emmanuel for the Marion Swamp Foxes.
Devontae Emmanuel is virtually non-existent right now for Marion. He has got to do something. I mean, he's the second biggest guy on the team at 6'5", and
he was able to
say it, but he's not giving Marquis McKelvey opportunity to operate on the offensive end. He's got to be a factor. If he's not going to be a factor, then North Charleston's not going to pay any attention to him and put two people on Marquis McKelvey all afternoon.
Yeah, he comes up with a good play on defense there, but as far as the offensive side of the ball, he has struggled a bit. So hopefully we can get Devontae Emmanuel back into this ball game for the Marion Swamp Foxes. He's a big body, 6'5". He's a senior.
Well, maybe they can get some contributions out of Keontae Foxworth and Jakari Godbolt to offset some of the non-contributions of other guys, but North Charleston's getting it from everywhere right now.
31-27 is your score. North Charleston with possession and the lead. Taken away by Marion. Quickly ahead now for the Swamp Foxes, and Washington cannot find his lay in. taken away by North Charleston. North Charleston back on the attack. Long three-pointer, Bernard Samuel. Not there. Rebound will go into the hands of Keontae Foxworth. Foxworth wants to take it himself. Driving in, and he has it on the right-handed runner.
He must have heard me.
And it's a 2-point Cougar lead. Minute, 10 seconds remain here in the first half. And a little reach-in foul there on DJ Kelly.
Was a
he
good
got a
idea.
piece of Trey Rayner.
Trey Rayner, he stepped to the left. He didn't know that Kelly was coming, and he happened to step to the left as Kelly was going to try to sweep in and steal it from behind and keep going. And it just so happened that Trey stepped to the left just as DJ Kelly was going after the basketball, and they ran into one another.
Rayner, his first trip to the line. Success on the first shot. So he'll get another.
But a rabbit punch back by Marion kept them within arm's distance.
Second shot too strong. Rebound goes to North Charleston. And it's a fight for it here, and out of bounds to the Swamp Foxes of Marion.
And McKelvey's taken a seat here in the last few minutes, and the length of North Charleston is starting to wear on Marion a bit.
DJ Kelly brings it into front court for Marion. Driving in is Washington, and snatched down by Trey Rayner. Possession arrow goes to the Cougars.
Got a foul on Chris Washington. He tried to reach back in and grab his errant shot. It was in the hands. I thought he might have gotten a tie-up, but foul was called.
So Rayner goes back to the stripe. He's one of two. Last time at the line. Misses that one, but the follow-through is good for Jamal Baldwin, working hard on the blocks. Baldwin.
He's listed at 6'1". That can't be right. He's more like 6'3 and a half, 6'4". But if he's 6'1", he sure is playing like he's bigger than that, because he is above the taller Marion players.
Baldwin
up their back.
Takes down the rebound here. Looking at the clock is Bernard Samuel. He sees he has 25 seconds left, and his team ahead by 5. North Charleston loses the handle here. DJ Kelly and Marion with a chance now with 10 seconds left in the half. Kelly will take it himself. Left-hander not there, and the buzzer blows, so that will do it for the second period. As we head to the half here at the Florence Civic Center, it is North Charleston 34, Marion 29. Stay right with us. We've got more exciting high school basketball here on the South Carolina High School League Network. Welcome back to the lovely Florence Civic Center for the Class 2A Boys Lower State Championships. I am Birch Entley along with Alan Smothers, and we're ready here for the second half to get underway. As North Charleston leading Marion 34-29, and as North Charleston basketball, the Cougars in blue, the Swamp Foxes in white. And there's a charge. Good job by Foxworth for Marion to set his feet, maintain position, and draw the charge.
Jakari Godbolt getting the start in the second half. And last time it was Devontae Emmanuel.
Yeah, that was actually Godbolt that drew the charge,
right,
not Foxworth. Left wing, pumping up a shot is Chris Washington. Coming down with it is North Charleston and Bernard Samuel. There's Williams, the big man for North Charleston. Kicks it out, Samuel, little ball fake, loses the handle, but picks it right back up. Fighting for the rebound is McKelvey for Marion. It's out of bounds to the Cougars. North Charleston and Marion with identical records, 21-6.
Had a couple of all-state players today. Naomi Moore in the first game this morning for C.E. Murray, and Marquis McKelvey in this game that just has not found their game in time, and hopefully Marquis will be able to snap out of it before we get too far deep into the second half.
There's a runner by DJ Kelly, rims out. Rebound brought down by Anthony Williams for North Charleston. He pushes ahead to Bernard Samuel. Samuel drifting to his left, top of your screen. Now down to Baldwin. Anthony Williams, the big man, out on the perimeter taking the shot.
A CIC, Marquis McKelvey and Jamal Baldwin standing side by side. And McKelvey may have him by 1.5 inches. There's no way Baldwin's a 6'1". It may have misprinted that at about 6'4". He's playing much bigger.
Yeah, he is.
I mean, he's playing, again, not just 6'1". He's playing bigger than 6'4". That Joker is working hard inside.
Baldwin with 2 big dunks in the first half. There's a takeaway by Michael Outlaw ahead to Washington. Does not fall. McKelvey trying to trail for the rebound and put back, and he'll draw the foul.
We just spoke with Kendall Wall, the CEO of the Florence Civic Center, during our halftime break there, and he said last night he thought there might have been something wrong with his rims on these baskets because the ball wouldn't go in. I think Marquis McKelvey's asking the same question.
I tell you, Kendall and his staff, they have done an excellent job. A wonderful facility here. It is a jewel of a facility here in Florence. You know, everybody in the PD area proud to host these lower state championships for the first time. North Charleston gets the inbounds to Anthony Williams. And Williams fires ahead to Samuel. Samuel knifing in and gets the right-handed shot to fall down. And North Charleston's lead is at 3 now with 6:14 remaining here in the third period. There comes Marion and Michael Outlaw. And this shot does not fall, and North Charleston back on offense after cleaning the defensive glass.
Injury to a Marion player. Their point guard, DJ Kelly, went down as North Charleston was starting the fast break. We played almost 2 minutes here in the second half. Birch and Marion is not scratched from the field yet. Just the 2 foul shots by Marquis McKelvey, and they've had good looks. Looks like there's a lid on it.
So Keontae Foxworth will check in at guard now for DJ Kelly, who's being attended to on that Marion bench. There's a takeaway by Marion. Fast break for Washington, and he cannot find the basket as he lost it a little bit on the dribble, and I think that affected his shot, Alan.
Terrific outlet pass, though, and he had a step on the defender if he'd have been able to gather it in and lay it up. And he had one like that in the first half, so he's capable.
Driving in is Outlaw. Off the back iron. North Charleston comes down with it, and a reach-in foul there. Michael Outlaw got a piece of James Brown.
Swamp Foxes are 0 for 6 in the second half.
North Charleston champions in Region 7 with an 11-1 record. Marion undefeated in Region 8, 10-0. Left wing, Williams. His jumper is off target, and coming down with the rebound, Marion. In the lane goes Washington. He cannot find the bounce. And Williams has another board for North Charleston. James Brown now stops, pops. It's good. James Brown, who had to sit down on the bench for the majority of the second period because of some foul trouble, comes in and picks up a nice jumper.
And he started the game with a similar shot, kind of a hanging one-hander. Marion trying to break an 0-for-7 streak, and they do.
Nice high arching jump shot there by Michael Outlaw off the baseline. North Charleston quickly on the run. There's Baldwin. Count it and put him at the line. Jamal Baldwin. As Baldwin picked up a nice feed from Trey Rayner, penetrating the lane and drawing the foul.
You know, I said in the first half, Birch, that John Washington switching out of the zone and going full court pressure was their best decision of the day. Now it's becoming a detriment because they can't get back on defense.
He cannot complete the three-point play as he misses the free throw. And Marion back on offense here. 2-3 zone for North Charleston. Foxworth breaks it. Loses it out of bounds. We had a whistle. I believe Foxworth able to draw the foul.
No, it's just lost out of bounds. Last touch by the Cougars.
Yeah, you're right. Good eyes there, Alan. Right wing Foxworth. Now they'll work it low post to Godbolt. Back out to Foxworth. A little leaner, and he got it.
Foxy Foxworth for the Foxes.
Keontae Foxworth. A little skip pass to Williams. When you say Foxy Foxworth, you know, Wando High School had a tight end that eventually wound up playing football for the University of South Carolina with the name of Foxy Foxworth.
Beautiful.
Here comes Keontae Foxworth, a little behind-the-back dribble.
Yes!
Can he get the roll? Yes! Oh, Keontae Foxworth, who has come off the bench to replace the injured DJ Kelly, making the most of his minutes.
He has all three of their buckets here in the second half.
And it's a three-point North Charleston lead. Bernard Samuel posting up for a three. Rebound taken down by Outlaw. Outlaw loses the handle. Now numbers for North Charleston. Here comes Williams. Alley-oop to Baldwin. It's good.
Super body control for Baldwin because that was not a good pass, and he still had the presence of mind to catch it and lay it in. They were looking for a thunderous dunk, though. Short.
A 9-footer off the baseline. Short for Trey Rayner.
Yeah, McKelvey, that's just not a shot he misses, and he cannot find the distance. And he's just kind of floating out there. He's kind of floating without a lot of purpose or without any kind of dedication right now. And I don't know if that's, I mean, obviously it's not disinterest, but I think he's maybe a little frustrated. He just needs one to go down. If he can get a breakaway dunk or a mid-range jumper to go down, I think it would spur him on and give him a little confidence. And
well, he just really hasn't had a lot of really good looks at the basket.
Had good looks, you're right. Has not had good looks. North Charleston's defense has blanketed him, suffocated him all afternoon.
42-37 is your score as we have a timeout on the floor. Let's take a look at the road through the lower state playoffs. Both teams the number 1 seed for North Charleston. They knock off Wade Hampton in the first round, surpass Andrews by 17 in the second, and then that big overtime win, 61-57 over the Auctioneers of Mullins. And Allen, for Marion, you've got their road through the playoffs.
Yeah, Marion knocked off Manning in a runaway fashion in the first round, 82-54. They then downed Edisto 70-60 and took out Timberland, who has athletes running out the wazoo, 66-48. But North Charleston, they've got the length to be able to match up, and that's what each coach talked about before the game was the length of the other, that they've been pretty much bigger than most of the teams they've faced, but this is a good matchup size-wise inside.
Jakari Godbolt at the line for Marion. Too soft on the front end. 6'5" junior for John Washington in his second year as head coach for the Swamp Foxes. Misses the second.
You see no rotation on that shot at all. It was kind of more of a sidewinder than it was over the top. It's no follow through, no extension. You gotta stick it out there. Give it a shot to go in. Put it up high.
James Brown pulls the trigger on the inbounds to Williams. Williams fires over left side to Bernard Samuel. 2-3 zone for Marion on defense. Left side, Samuel spots up a nice jumper there. Bernard Samuel, smooth looking shot to put North Charleston up now 44-37 with 2.5 to play here in the third period. Three-pointer here from Marion's Michael Outlaw, and the Swamp Foxes recover on the rebound. Straightaway shot off target by Foxworth, but again, offensive board goes to Marion.
Third chance, and I mean, just
here's the takeaway. And James Brown, easy lay-in.
Yeah, that makes it 46-37. It's out to 9, Birch, but I mean, the way the game feels, it feels like a 20-point game, doesn't it? It feels like North Charleston's just running away from Marion, but they're right there.
Big rebound there from McKelvey, but he loses it coming down with the ball. And now Williams again showing his ball handling and passing skills. And there it is. Points good for Baldwin. Boy, Anthony Williams, 6'5", running the floor like he was a 5'9" point guard.
I said to you before the game, if Marquis McKelvey was not the 2A state player of the year, I'd like to see them because he's so good. But Anthony Williams might be showing he should have gotten the 2A State Player of the Year award.
Yeah, and I believe that award went to Josh Stroman from Keenan High School, who is an outstanding player out of Columbia. Keenan, the defending state champs, but Keenan lost in the third round of the playoffs to Lee Central, who is playing for the Upper State Championship here tonight. There's a nice teardrop there. And by Washington for Marion.
They need his help. Washington was good in the first half, but had Foxworth step up in the second half. DJ Kelly injured.
Williams going in, challenges Godbolt, and he gets it. Anthony Williams has poured in a plethora of points here today.
You know, Marquis McKelvey averages double figures in points and rebounds, and he's not even close to that in either department.
No. And North Charleston leading by 11, 50-39. Checking into the game now for North Charleston, Jamal Washington, number 15. He'll take the place of Anthony Williams. Williams will head to the sideline for a well-deserved break. Three-pointer here by Foxworth, in and out. Big rebound. Going up tall is Bernard Samuel. Samuel comes near sideline. DJ Kelly back in the game. He's got a Band-Aid over that left eye for Marion. Foxworth chases it down. Foxworth goes the distance. Right-handed finger roll on the left side is good. See DJ Kelly, number 2 for Marion, the point guard, back in the ball game after he obviously took an elbow to that left eyebrow, as he is sporting the elastic.
Foxworth has all the field goals but one by Chris Washington here in the third quarter as we're in the final 10 seconds.
It's actually that right eye of DJ Kelly that took the injury. Kelly launches a long three-pointer. And that's going to do it for the third period. We'll move to the final stanza when we return to Florence, South Carolina. It is North Charleston by 9, 50-41 over Marion. This is the SCHSL Network. Welcome back to the Florence Civic Center. I am Birch Antley, joined by Alan Smothers. We're in the fourth and final period here in the 2A Lower State Championship. North Charleston on top of Marion right now, but the Swamp Foxes with possession. DJ Kelly drives in, swings it left side to Yaman Rowell, who just entered the game, and there's a takeaway. Bernard Samuel takes it in, too strong off the glass, fighting for the rebound. Marion's Yaman Rowell, but he stepped out of bounds on the baseline. So possession goes back to North Charleston.
And Marion needs a series of breaks here. They've had their series of unfortunate events with the injuries and the slap in the face and the early foul trouble. Now they need a couple of breaks to happen in a row.
Bernard Samuel nails another three-pointer. There's a good-looking shot there from Bernard Samuel, the 6'4" senior. Oh, wow. McKelvey just got shut down by Anthony Williams, and
see,
temper's flaring right now. The officials quickly come in and take control.
McKelvey did the absolute right thing. He just walked away. He got his shot blocked. They got the whistle, the foul. He walked to the foul line. It was other teammates that got into a little hoofing match.
Now everything is settled and A-okay.
You can't just play. Forget all that stuff. Just play.
Yeah, good job by the officials to immediately just step right in and say, okay, guys, let's just get back to playing basketball here. And everybody does. Here's McKelvey's shot. Cannot find the bottom as it rattles out. McKelvey really needed that just to help boost his confidence a little bit. He's just, struggled really to get the ball in his hands for one and trying to find an open shot.
But I like his demeanor here. He knows he's struggling, but he didn't get into any kind of, like I said, huffing match with anybody. He went straight to the foul line, got ready to shoot shots.
Makes his second.
Stick in there.
So that should help lift his spirits a little bit. Yeah, full court press, but North Charleston is able to beat it as James Brown slings it over, but intercepted by DJ Kelly. And Marion back on the prowl. DJ Kelly, nice little feed underneath to Marquis McKelvey, and McKelvey draws another foul, and he'll go to the line again. Was 1 for 2 his last trip.
Now, I haven't watched this closely throughout the last couple of series, Birch, but that time, Marquis didn't show himself. He didn't get to where he could get the ball in an operating position. He was right dead under the basket, and DJ Kelly did a heck of a job just getting the ball to him, and once he got it, he was immediately surrounded. You catch that ball on the short corner, and then you can operate, and then let everybody spread the floor, get spacing, make sure that he's one-on-one with somebody rather than three people surrounding him as soon as he catches the ball.
Nice touch on both of those shots by Marquis McKelvey. North Charleston struggling to inbounds as that full court press being applied by Marion, but North Charleston, the Cougars, able to get it into the front court. Here's Williams spinning in the lane, and he's going to be called for a charge. Excellent footwork down there by Marquis McKelvey.
Yeah, it wasn't so much what McKelvey did right there, was that Anthony Williams was completely and utterly out of control. He turned his back on the defender. First off, if you don't know where your defender is, how do you know which way to go? And he turned his back on McKelvey. McKelvey stood his ground. And another unfortunate event for the Swamp Foxes.
Yeah, unforced error there is McKelvey, DJ Kelly, tossing that pass too high. Goes out of bounds to North Charleston. Again, that full court press. James Brown struggling here. It's jump ball situation. Possession arrow stays with North Charleston. Again with the pressure, Anthony Williams will let Bernard Samuel bring it across the timeline. Drifting left to the top of your screen. There's James Brown. Brown knifing into the lane. Shot not there. Rebound. Fought for. Taken away by North Charleston. High arcing shot there for James Brown along the baseline. DJ Kelly looking for McKelvey underneath.
I don't remember one time today that Marquis McKelvey had an uncontested shot or a shot that he was even able to chin to make a move, much less get it up to the basket.
Yeah, credit that North Charleston defense
Yeah,
for
absolutely. That's what I mean.
shutting down Marquis McKelvey, one of the top players in 2A basketball. Rebound goes to Bernard Samuel, quickly up ahead to Williams. Williams is going to be called for another charge.
And that's
he was,
call.
yeah,
That's
he was out of control. That's
Absolutely.
an excellent call. Chris Washington doing a great job down there for Marion to let the big guy come at him, sacrificing his body. Well, Chris Washington 5'4", Anthony Williams 6'6".
And that's his fifth foul.
Chris Washington says, "I'm not afraid," and that's big for North Charleston. Anthony Williams has fouled out of this ball game.
Well, we said he had two early. He may have gotten one phantom in the first quarter, but both of those charges were absolute charges because of his forcing the action more so than Marion taking charges. They were in the spot. You don't have to be completely still. You just have to establish your position.
And Foxworth just inside the free throw line with a nice little J, and we'll see if Marion, the Swamp Foxes, can take advantage of this situation. There's a big steal by DJ Kelly. What a play! DJ Kelly!
Gave up himself and saved the team. Now again, Blake Paul was hot after that call, but it was the right call. I know it's hard to accept, especially when your big man just fouled out of the ball game.
Big rebound there by McKelvey. The putback can't find it, but a foul in the paint, and Marion will go to the line. I think Marion, no, it will not be a shooting foul.
Yeah, they just knocked it out of bounds.
Marion trying to capitalize here as North Charleston's big man, their leading scorer and rebounder, Anthony Williams, on the bench as he is fouled out of this game. McKelvey whistled for a travel. That's a good call.
Yep. And I feel so bad for Marquis McKelvey because I told you about him before we even went on the air today, how good a player and how special I think he was going to be, not only today, but throughout his next, 6-8 years in high school and college. But he has really, really...
Take away by Marion. McKelvey over to Foxworth. Foxworth floating in, drives it home.
This afternoon.
Foxworth. Another takeaway. Now Foxworth wants a three. Not there. Rebound goes to North Charleston and Bernard Samuel. And Samuel has his pocket picked by DJ Kelly. DJ Kelly gonna take it himself. Blocked away by Baldwin.
What activity we got. What kind of effort are both of these teams making? That DJ Kelly play was all about effort. He never gave up.
From the opening tip of the Class A girls basketball game, Alan Smothers, we have seen nothing but absolute great basketball at its finest each and every game today here at the Lower State Championships from Florence on the SCHSL network. It's 57-48 North Charleston. 4.5 minutes remaining. Now North Charleston, their big man on the bench. He's fouled out. So you've got to think it's going to be up to Baldwin and Samuel to try to maintain this lead for the Cougars. DJ Kelly
got his own
goes
rebound.
in amongst the trees. McKelvey clears it out. Back to McKelvey. Spots up from 16 feet. Air ball there, and North Charleston comes down with it. But again, that pressure by Marion. But North Charleston able to get it into front court. Little jumper, James Brown. That's a big-time shot.
Well, that's a true dagger.
That's a momentum killer right there.
True dagger. I mean, that saps every bit of want to out of your team.
DJ Kelly, long range, off the front rim. Look at him going in there fighting for a rebound. He already had to have the eye taped as he took an elbow earlier in this game, had to sit out several minutes.
Well, that's an example right there, Birch, of what you said earlier about the great play. What we've seen today is unbridled effort, unbridled energy, unbridled enthusiasm for being here in the Lower State Championship game, and the want to, I use that term a lot, the want to get to Columbia.
Yeah, you don't think these guys want to take a trip down to the capital city?
Absolutely.
Boy, they are fighting hard. Both teams, all of these players. tremendous desire to represent the lower state in the state finals. DJ Kelly, just a Warriors attitude out there on the court. Second shot is up and rattles out. But Marion comes down with a rebound. There's DJ Kelly again. Going in traffic. Stripped away by North Charleston. And DJ Kelly, look at that steal. DJ Kelly just never gives up.
He never gives. I said that. Never give. It's never give up. DJ Kelly. He's even had the Band-Aid just taken off his head now. Somebody, when he went in, you know what I like about DJ Kelly? I was going to say that even before he got the steal. What I like about DJ Kelly is he has no fear. He's going in there. Every time he's driving the ball to the basket, he got the Band-Aid ripped off his head. He doesn't care. He ain't going to look for it. He's not going to go get any effort or go get any help on the sideline. He has got an unbridled desire, a never-give-up attitude.
DJ Kelly, just a junior, 5'5", averages 7 assists, 4 steals. Really has been the spark plug for Marion and head coach John Washington. We've got a timeout on the floor. It's a 10-point North Charleston lead, but it really doesn't feel like it right now. No. And remember a few moments ago, Alan, you said, it feels like it's a North Charleston 20-point lead when it was only at 8 or 10. Mm-hmm. But now it doesn't feel like a 10-point lead. You feel like Marion is just right back into this ball game and that they could take the lead at any time.
And that's true that it feels like it, but really in reality it is. If they make 2 buckets in a row, let's say they can get 2 stops in a row, 2 buckets in a row, and then get a stop after that second bucket, and they come down with a chance to get within 1 possession, it is a game. But they got to put 2 together, and goodness knows if Marquis McKelvey could just get 1 field goal. Has he made a field goal today?
I think he's had 1, maybe 2, and you've got to go back to the last trip down the court for North Charleston and that big jumper by James Brown.
Oh, yeah, that was huge.
The dagger, as you called it, that was really, really big. But, Marion, this swarming defense, this full court pressure that they're applying on North Charleston, exciting to watch. They've had opportunities as DJ Kelly gets the
Band-Aid put back.
Fresh Band-Aid.
I don't think he likes it. I think it's hindering his vision a little bit. But I know it's a bad cliche. It's an old cliche used. But that James Brown jump shot you talked about, what that did, that took every bit of wind out of Marion's sails. Their sails just went dark, just went flat.
Skying in for the rebound, Jamal Washington, who just checked in. Here comes James Brown. Brown beats the press, fires over right side to Washington. And Washington picks up the foul from DJ Kelly.
They're making him keep that Band-Aid on, I think, Birch, because the wound is still exerting a little blood. It's still a little raw. They don't want him to get any blood on anybody.
North Charleston, Josh Gant on the handle. Pass sails out of bounds. Looking for James Brown on the far sideline. And now Marion with another chance.
After Anthony Williams fouled out, you saw Blake Hall loosen his tie a little bit. Can you imagine how tight that tie was around his neck?
Boy, McKelvey just elevated to grab that rebound. Got the putback off the square.
I think that tie just knotted itself a little tighter.
And North Charleston forced to call timeout because they could not pull the trigger on the inbounds pass. So McKelvey with a rebound and stick back. And it is an 8-point North Charleston lead, 59-51. Just a hair under 3 minutes to play here from the Florence Civic Center.
I think we have set a record today. High school basketball games with coaches wearing bow ties. This might be a record. The assistant coach for North Charleston is wearing a bow tie. 2 of our head coaches have had bow ties today, and now I think we can look that up somewhere. It's got to be a record.
That's right. Now, if Myrtle Beach, the girls, if Brian Kuiper were here, he'd have that green bow tie on himself. That's his claim to fame.
Does he wear bow tie? I've never seen Kuiper wear bow tie.
I've seen Kuiper in the lower state and state championship in a green bow tie. Looked just like he was heading out to a St. Patrick's Day party somewhere.
Well, it's a little surprising his team's not here. If they hadn't had one of their second options, obviously Khadijah Sessions is the state player of the year in 3A girls basketball. She was everything as advertised, but she had a couple of plays.
Oh, there's a takeaway by Marion inside of McKelvey. He loses the handle, but it's out of bounds to the Swamp Foxes. You know, this full court pressure here is really DJ Kelly from long range. No. Rebound goes to James Brown and North Charleston. With the handle, Josh Gant. Gant almost loses it, but he gets it over to Rayner. Rayner driving in, and a whistle and a foul. That one called on Foxworth. He thought he was set, but the official right there saw him move those feet. Did not maintain dominant position, and
John Washington is pointing to the trail official. The baseline official made the call, and I think it's the right call. I really do. But the trail official wanted to call a charge. He half-heartedly tooted his whistle and got bailed out by the baseline official who made the right call.
North Charleston, long outlet pass almost taken away, but Jamal Baldwin able to handle.
Still time, but they got to get a stop right here.
Driving in is Brown, and he's going to be fouled. So James Brown heading to the free throw line. Yep. Marion really wanting a stop here, hoping that James Brown is off target on his free throws. There's a good look right there. James Brown. Misses the front end as he pulled the string too short. 2 minutes, just over 2 minutes remaining in this ball game. 8-point Cougar lead. And that one rattles out, but out of bounds off the fingertips of McKelvey to North Charleston. Again, Anthony Williams, the All-State selection for North Charleston, has fouled out of this ball game.
Well, he's hoping for a second life in Columbia, praying that his team is out as a walk. Got away with it.
Baldwin kicks it out to Rayner. Now James Brown spinning into DJ Kelly. Maintains possession
dangerously.
And James Brown is going to be fouled as we have an injured Marion player over there on the far sideline, and we're going to take a break here from the Civic Center in Florence. It's North Charleston 59, Marion 51. This is the SCHSL Network. Keontae Foxworth, the injured Marion player, helped over to the sideline. And we're back to live action. James Brown, nice move there on Rowell for Marion. And Brown looking for some help. He's going to draw the foul. DJ Kelly with a little reach in.
On that last advance into the forecourt, James Brown was like a gunslinger. He was dodging bullets at every angle. Every turn he made, there was another Swamp Fox coming to try to strip him clean, and he dodged every one of them.
James Brown missed both shots his last trip Misses that one. And the rebound. Tie up on the floor. Possession arrow goes to the Swamp Foxes, Marion. Again, just hard work down there by DJ Kelly, number 2. Never stops playing. He just never turns that motor off.
You know what? Hard work by the Cougars of North Charleston, too. They have not made any rebound easy for the Swamp Foxes. Every one has been a battle.
DJ Kelly, I guarantee you, he's one of those guys that he just doesn't need an alarm clock to get him out of bed.
Yeah, he's got, seems like endless energy.
Marion unable to capitalize on that last trip down the floor. North Charleston, James Brown, again doing a good job of just holding on to the basketball. Drawing another foul, but he has struggled to the line. From Greenville at the half, it's Newberry leading 31-29 over Lee Central. That game available as well here on the SCHSL network. Don't forget, fans, that you can order your DVD copy of this broadcast and others. Check out our extensive DVD collection from all the championship sports the South Carolina High School League has to offer that we have covered for the past 3 years here on the South Carolina High School League Network. Check out the library at www.schsl.tv. Order your copy today. Brown able to connect on his second free throw. Here comes DJ Kelly knifing in, and Kelly will pick up the foul with 1:18. It's a 10-point ball game. And Kelly is going to have to connect on these free throws, and then immediately, Allen, Marion is going to have to get a defensive stop.
Yeah, well, the full court pressure was effective for a while, but I think it ultimately both wore them down playing 94 feet. And once it was solved by North Charleston, it was their downfall because they didn't get back on a lot of easy buckets for the Cougars.
Kelly's second shot is good. Still a 3-possession game with 1:16 left. See if North Charleston can break the press. Foul is committed on the far sideline. That might be Kelly again, and he's going to be... Yep, that's it. I hate to see that for DJ Kelly as he fouls out of this ball game, but what an effort by that young man. DJ Kelly, special player in my book.
Yeah, well, he ultimately got TKO'd with the 5 fouls, but boy, he was like a prize fighter. He took every punch that the Cougars were able to throw at him today.
So at the line here for North Charleston, James Brown knocks it in, and the Cougars have the lead back at 10 with just over a minute to play. Tell you who DJ Kelly reminds me of. Jamel Bradley, former point guard at the University of South Carolina. They called him the West Virginia Long Rifle. He's kind of built the same way, played the game the same way. That's really who DJ Kelly kind of reminds me of. But he played a heck of a ball game, but ultimately fouling out for Marion. Also on the bench, fouling out of this game for North Charleston, Anthony Williams, who fouled out early in the 4th period.
Well, what DJ Kelly, at only 5 feet 5 inches tall, lacks in size, and in some ways he's not, you can tell he's not a great shooter. What he lacks in some size or some effort or some talent, talent and size, he makes up for an effort. I mean, when you got a guy that plays that hard for 32 minutes, you give me 5 of them, I don't care how much talent they got, I'll play with those guys.
Brown again struggles at the line. Down to a minute now, a minute remaining. And that one is out of bounds, but Marion maintains control.
What exactly happened there? I looked away and the ball went flying out of bounds.
It was knocked out by a North Charleston player.
Did they just swat it?
Yes.
I thought that might have been
swatted out.
Really bad shot.
So Marion will inbounds, trailing by 10. Baseline official says that was out of bounds to Marion. Taken away here by James Brown. This might be a highlight. Double stuff for James Brown. And that might close the book on Marion. And hats off to North Charleston. Allen, you know, they lost their leading scorer, their big man, their leading rebounder, Anthony Williams, who fouled out early in the fourth period.
6+ minutes to play.
Yeah, but, you know, North Charleston did not get rattled. And they did not let the defense that Marion was throwing at them ruffle their feathers. And they kept at their game. And they've got a 12-point lead with 38 seconds remaining.
And I'm sure Blake Hall would admit this as well, even though Anthony Williams played terrific tonight. He was not their best player while he was in the game. I mean, he had James Brown, Jamal Baldwin,
Bernard Samuel.
I mean, they all stood out tonight. And if I had to pick an MVP right now, I'd go James Brown.
Josh Middleton, 6'5" senior, will check in as Jamal Baldwin heads to the bench. Three-pointer there by Outlaw is good. Stops the clock with 34 seconds.
That's his first field goal. If only he could have done that in the first couple of minutes rather than the last half minute.
Well, now, Marion trailing by 9 now. 3-possession game with 33 seconds. It is not out of the realm of possibility, Alan.
It's going to take a lot of missed free throws and a whole lot of luck. I mean, let's be honest. It's not impossible by any stretch of the imagination, but it's going to take a lot of missed free throws and a lot of luck. And John Washington, the second-year head coach for Marion. His team comes in 21-6. It's another baby step for his team, though, Birch. They have never been to this lower state championship level. So it's going to take them another couple of years. You know, when I coached at SCHSL, we had made it to the lower state championship game a couple of times before we finally advanced to the state championship.
And Brown is going to be fouled by Jakari Godbolt. Allen, our next game will feature the 3A lower state girls championship between a pair of Columbia area teams, the Lower Richland Diamond Hornets and the Blue Devils of Dreer High School. And then our nightcap, Hartsville and Lower Richland.
Yeah,
the boys.
Eric Samuel has improved that Hartsville program back to the days of who we talked about earlier, Roderick Blakeney, and they've had LaRon. What was LaRon's last name back in the 80s? See, I'm getting really old now. I remember kids, but not their names.
James Brown's shot not there. Rebound goes to Marion. Marion launches a three. Not there. Rebound goes to North Charleston, and he is quickly fouled by Godbolt. That's James Brown, who is fouled again. 10-point North Charleston lead with 20 seconds on the clock. And if James Brown makes one of these shots, I think that's all she wrote for the Marion Swamp Foxes. There's not enough time left on the scoreboard for Marion. Valiant effort, however, by the Swamp Foxes and their squad under the direction of second-year head coach John Washington. But how about first-year head coach Blake Hall for North Charleston? It looks like he's taking his team to the promised land, the state championship in Columbia, to face either Elise Central or Newberry.
Shouldn't be that easy. Shouldn't be able to get there in your first year. Should be against the law to get there in your first year as a head coach.
Marion keeps it alive after missing the three-pointer. Foxworth launches one. Not there.
I'm kidding.
That's going to do it.
I'm kidding, of course. Please don't get mad at me, Coach Hall.
That's it. Your 2012 Lower State Champs Class 2A. The Cougars of North Charleston High School, they knock off the Marion Swamp Foxes 66-55. This has been a production of Play On Sports. For all of our crew here in Florence, for my broadcast partner Alan Smothers, I am Birch Itley saying so long from the Florence Civic Center. We'll talk to you next time here on the SCHSL Network.